let's go. You don't need your iPad at all today. Write down this, right here. Now, I know I told you this last week, but I need to tell you again. Look, you already have this. You know, those are the standard forms. You already have those. The variable not squared is the type. So, you see how that's in standard form? That's obviously an x parabola. Stop looking at it. Variable not squared. Okay, now watch this. Here's what I want you to do in your notebook. I want you to distribute that and square that out. Go ahead, do it. That's 9th grade algebra. Just do what I said. Distribute that and square that out. Go ahead. What did you write down? You should already have it written down. Give it to me. Distribute that and square that out. Somebody. Ethan.
8x plus 24 equals y squared minus 4y plus 4.
Okay, now, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to put everything on one side. Now, let's see here. You always want the squared variable part. That's how you would know what side to put them all on. So I'm going to put all this over there. Y squared minus 4y. This 8x is going to go over there and become minus 8x. And this 24 is going to go over there and become minus 20. Now look at that. This is called general form. For a problem. Now, in about 25 minutes is all this should probably take me. Here's what the directions are going to say. Rewrite each equation into standard form, and then give the type, where does it open, and the values of h, k, and p. All right, now, in your notebook, I want you to spread out here. Write down this as example 1. And then right next to that one, write this one. And let me start with just those two. Let me start with just those two. All right, now watch this. I'm going to erase this. Now you have this in your notebook. On a test, this is what this part will look like. I'll have the problem written down like any of these, and then here's what I'll have on the test. This test will be Thursday. That's how you'll see it on the test. I'll give you an equation, and I'm going to say, find that stuff for me. Variable not squared is the type, so that's easy. Now, leave yourself some space here. This is obviously an x parabola. And you know what, let's I'm sorry, nah, we'll leave it like that. I got a different one. And that's an x2, variable not squared. All three of these are x's. Okay, now look at that. Okay, now I'm going to try to screw you up right now. Pay attention. I'm going to try to screw you up. Don't let me. If I said to you, write that in standard form, what would you say to me? Come on now, honors class. If I said to you, are you paying attention to everything I've said so far? If I said to you, no, this stuff you already know. If I said to you, write this in standard form, what would you come back and say to me? Come on, guys, honors class. What would you say? If I said, write that in standard form. Adam.
Sorry.
It's already in standard form, right? So listen, I'm going to give you the easiest way to learn this. How do you know if a parabola is in standard form? Here's how you know. On one side of the equation is something squared. You see that? On the other side of the equation is a quantity not squared with a number in front of it. Now watch me. If I were to put this on the test and say change it to standard form, you'd be looking at it and going, it already is in standard form. So these answers would come immediately. Watch this. Now, H and K, that's easy enough. Where do you always find H and K? They're right in front of you, right? What's H and K? Come on, this part's easy. Look at the equation. It's already in standard form. Come on, H and K are easy. If it's in standard form, H and K are right there in front of you. Now, H would be -3. Here's where H comes from, right? Here's where K comes from. So H is -3. Alex, what's K? 2. Okay? Remember when he did circles? H was with X, K was with Y. So that's the same, opposite sign. And then you see this number right here? What does that number stand for? Look. The number in front of the variable not squared. What does that represent? Look, it's in both of them right here. Rob?
P.
No. No, not P.
4.
That's right. Look. You see what's in front of the variable not squared? That represents 4P. So what I'm trying to say is 4P has a value of 8, which makes that 2. Do you see what I'm doing here before I get into the main part of today? How do you know where it opens? I did all this last week. If you know P, you know where it opens, don't you? Rob?
To the right.
P is positive, it opens in a positive direction, right? P is Now, you're not going to make a mistake like this, are you? Listen to what I'm going to say. You're not going to say you got an X parabola that opens up. That makes no sense, right? X parabolas go right or left. So this is positive, and you would just write that. Now that was easy. Why was that easy? There was nothing to do. It was already in standard form. Okay, now you see the next two? Let's go to this one. This one is almost in standard form. What do you think the first step in that second one would be? Isn't that almost like this? What's the only thing wrong with it? The last one up there. And
You have to move the Y -5.
wrong one. You always want the squared one to be positive. So what are you going to move?
The 2.
The 2 in the quantity x plus 1. You see the quantity squared? It's already there. Well, leave it alone. Now, if you take that and put it to the other side, what's the only thing that's going to change? If you take the 2 quantity x plus 1 and you just push it to the other side, what's the only thing that's going to change? Hey guys, this is normal equations. What's the only thing that's going to change? Jack? The sign. So if this is a plus 2 quantity x plus 1, if you put it over there, isn't it going to be minus 2 quantity x plus 1? Y'all see all I did there? Now, that's done. H, K, P, and where's it open? Can somebody give me all that? Should be able to. Once it's in standard form, you're home free. You know everything. What's H and K? I'll go right in the equation. Just pick them off. What's H and K? Come on, this part's easy. It's in standard form. What's H and K? Nathan.
-1.
H is -1. It's with the X. What's K?
5.
5, and now here's where you gotta be careful. See this number right here? That's what 4p equals. You see that? The number in front of the variable not squared is 4p. Well, if 4p equals -2, then what's p? Just solve the equation. Ethan, -1/2. Okay, well, why are you late? All right, put your backpack right there. Right there. Look, the test is right there. Here, you can come over. Come on, over here. 1 to 6 is substitution method, and the rest are elimination, okay? Do it by the method. 1 to 6 is substitution, and all the rest are elimination. Where's it open? Where's it open? What direction? David? Left. Because p is negative. All right, now, I'm going to do these two things at the same time. Here, you already have that one. Add this one. Listen, I'm going to screw this all up. All right, I'm going to do the next two at the same time. Now, there's going to be a worksheet. When I give it to you, it's not going to be everything on here. It's going to just be part of it. But the directions are going to say, change it to standard form. If it's already in standard form, then just write the answers down. What's the type? Type for that one. X or Y? This part's easy. Don't screw this up, though. Rob?
Y.
The Y type. The variable not squared is the type. Okay, please give me your attention here. You're going to really screw these up. Change them to standard form. Here's standard form. See your variables? Aren't they split on opposite sides of the equal sign? So the first thing you got to do is separate everything. Put all the y's on one side, put all the x's and the numbers, or vice versa, on the other. So in this problem right here, what would be your first step? Separate your variables. What side of your y variable is going to be on? What side, right here, what side of your y variable is going to be on? Max? No. How do you know what side for the squared one? You always want it positive. Well, it's already positive. See the squared one? So leave it. You got this. Equals. Now put everything else on the other side. Please pay attention here. You're really going to screw this part of the test up. Tell me what's going on the other side. Just move everything else to the other side. Rob?
4x plus 8.
Both of these, put them to the other side. So 4x plus 8. All right, let me come over here. Tell me what to do here. I'm going to do them at the same time. Tell me what to do here. Separate your variables. Give me the next line of work. Let's do the same thing I just did there. Jack.
X squared minus 8x equals -4y.
Boys, you got to pay attention here, because I know what happens on the test. You screw up this part of the test. Look at this. So many points, so many points, so many points, so many points, so many points. If you change the standard form, wrong. These are all going to be wrong. It's not in standard form yet. How do you know if you have standard form? Quantity squared on one side, quantity not squared on the other with a number in front of it. Guess what? And I told you this. There's only one way to get this to be a quantity squared. You've got to do that completing the square method. Now pay attention. What number are you going to add there to make the perfect square? I hope to God you're not sitting in your seat going, I don't know how to do completing the square, because you're screwed if you do. How do you know what number to add here to make this a perfect square? Max. You take half of this and square it, right? So I got to add a 4 there. If I add a 4 here, I got to add a 4 on the right. Make sure you're getting this. All right, let me jump over here. squared one. What are you gonna add there to complete the square? What are you gonna add right there to complete the square? Somebody, just do the same thing. Take half and square it. Ethan,
16.
half of 8 is 4, so plus 16. Over here, add 16. Watch, you're almost there. Somebody, you got it now. What's this come down to now? You did this on the circle test too. I told you that completing the square would be the rest of the year. Okay, what's this come down to now? Rob,
1 minus 2 squared.
y minus 2 squared equals what? Just add your numbers over there. Nathan. Just add your numbers.
4x plus 12.
Watch this. What's this come down to right here? Stay with me here. Don't want to mess this up. What's this come down to right here? Jake, come on, this is now perfect.
X minus 4.
Quantity squared equals
4y.
negative 4y
Negative 4y.
minus 4. Just add the numbers. Attention. Are these in standard form? Not quite yet. You only have one more thing to do. Now, you got, there's the binomial squared, you got that. There's the binomial squared. What has to be on the other side? A binomial not squared with a number in front of it. Freshman algebra. Bring this down. Now, come on. Such a simple thing from 9th grade algebra. What do you think you're going to do to that side? It was like one of the most important topics in 9th grade algebra. What do you think you're going to do to that 4x plus 12? Chris,
Factor out 4.
take out the 4. Now, I got news for you here. Whatever that number is, take it out. I don't care what it is. You make it work. If you take out a 4, what do you got? Doubts? Factor 4 out.
3x plus 3.
Okay, now look at that. Isn't that in standard form now? Like I started class? Here. Be careful. What am I going to do here? Whatever it is, I don't care what it is, get it out. Max,
Negative 4.
careful now.
Y plus 1.
Okay, taking out a negative, so the signs get flipped. You see these two start equations? Isn't your work done? What's the only thing left to do? Give me all the answers. Okay, we already said this was an X. We already said this was a Y. Okay, in your notebook, you should be able to give me all this stuff now. The answers are right in the equation. Somebody, give me the H, the K, and then the P. Fellas, please listen to me. Look up here. If you do this wrong, see this here? If you do these few steps wrong, you realize these are all going to be wrong down here. What's H and K? Ethan.
Negative, or H is negative 3, K
Right.
is 2, and P is 1.
Okay, now 4P is 4, which makes P is 1, and because P is positive, where's it open? Rob. To the right. All right, give them to me over here. Give me H, K, and P over here. Oh, we're almost done. I'm going to pass this out, and you're going to have like 9 or 10 problems here. David.
H is 4.
Yeah.
Negative 1. P
Yeah.
negative 1.
4P is negative 4, so P is negative 1, so where's it open? Where's it open?
Down.
Down. Goes in a negative direction. Now, let me pass this on. see him on that drawing. Eight pizza? Okay, listen. Take out a good piece of paper right now. Circle or mark the following. You're not doing all this.